Hello, let's do Wordle for Tuesday, May 19th. Let's play. Yesterday we spun the wheel. It said to start with merit. All right, just a T. I don't know why. I want to try ST. A staying or stand. Stall, stalk. What do I like? I don't really like stall for double L. So like an OA. You could do stool, but my L key hasn't been hitting half the time, which is really annoying. Probably just have to clean it. Why don't we go with stalk? That's kind of fun. All right, there's an S and a T, just not there. No A. So where do the ST go? Are we doing an STY word? Like the UST trap? We've been doing a lot of UST. We've been doing a lot of traps. So what's actually left for the UST trap? Is how much trappy is it anyway? There's dusty. There's gusty, like wind. Busty, like your favorite lady. Can I use two of these in one? I should have done staying, I guess. Can I use two of these in one guess? That might be a tall order. Because I would need to put S and T with some of these. I mean, I could just do dusty, gusty, busty because it feels like that's the order of the chances of those being words. And it's not, I'm not going to lose. So let's just do dusty. There we go. Just do the correct one and it's not a trap. There you go. There are probably other forms, but I was worried about UST. So the sooner you get into it, the less chance you run out of guesses. Let's spin the members wheel and see what tomorrow's starting word will be. Suggested by my members. Broil, suggested by 89 Gel 1. So if you would like to follow along, tomorrow we'll be starting with broil. All right. And let's do some analysis. See how things went today. So the answer was dusty. And we started with merit. And I was emailed an analysis. So let's take a quick look at that to see how it ranks my stock. It wants pants or bolts or bun. Wow, these are all fillers. It's really worried about something. I wonder what it is. All right. So the full analysis says tonal, which is just a really good word. All right. Where does stalk go? Oops. Stalk. 3.064 guesses left. It's pretty. It's a bit down the list. Maybe 100. I don't know. Maybe I'm overestimating that. 50. I don't have line numbers on this, so not amazing. But I mean, it wasn't going to lose on something. All right, and from here we're down to 7 words: busty, dusty. Oh, fusty. I don't know what fusty is, but that's on the answer list according to the official bot. Gusto, gusty, gutsy, and nutso. So there's a lot of just tied stuff here. Busty, dusty, fusty, gusto, gusty. So I mean, dusty was as good as any of these others. There wasn't like, you would think maybe with you'd want to get the G for gusto, gusty, gutsy, but I guess it doesn't really matter. It's interesting. Gusty and gutsy are anagrams with just the S and T swapped. So I just got it, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would have thought of fusty. I don't know what that means. I know what fussy is. Let's look up fusty. See if I recognize it from the definition. Find fusty. An adjective that describes something like a room, piece of clothing, or old book that smells stale, damp, or musty. The old trunk in the attic was full of fusty clothes that smelled like mothballs. Can't you just use musty? Okay. British definition, according to Merriam-Webster: impaired by age or dampness, saturated with dust or stale odors. I'm curious if it was on the original answer list. It was not. So New York Times added that as an option. All right. So it would have done, where's my analysis? I think I closed it. Okay. Maybe? What's going on here? Oh, here it is. It would have done tonal. Yeah, tonal is nice. Need to remember that one. All right, and there's 14 words left, including all the SD traps. It's going to do Dutch. Dutch doesn't really seem to help with the SD trap. It gets you dusty. And so now it's only dusty, but that's lucky. Like if the answer had been busty instead, then Dutch doesn't get you that. And we're in the usty trap still. So anyway, let's change this back to dusty and go back. So tails is what it starts with. It's going to go shirt or short. Either are exactly the same number of guesses left. Interesting. Okay. And from here, all of these are hard mode fillers. This is crazy. So gifts gets you gusty and fusty. It's trying to get two of the SD trap at once. Busty. Actually, this one doesn't. Interesting. But gifts does. Gusty, fusty. And then now we're just in the usty trap. So I don't know. It could be as bad as 6. Ooh, yeah. So it had to get two at once here, or we are in danger because. Oh no, did it? Could we have just done gusty? No, we can't. Yeah, see. After shirt, it's too late to just do all the usties. You got to get two at once. But what does this get? Busty. It doesn't get the other ones. So I don't know what. Like if we go boast, why can we suddenly do all the usties? Oh, because it gets you busty at that time. But busty doesn't do that. Oh my gosh, I'm having so much trouble analyzing this. Oh, the reason is that now we can still do the filler. Okay, that's the reason. We're not actually in the usty trap here. So we're still not doing an usty. We're doing something like midst, for example, which does test for dusty, or gifts, which gets the gusty and fusty. But let's look at angst, which only gets gusty. From here, it's saying we can still do a filler if you'd like, right? Which gets the musty and dusty, right? So at some point you're going to do a filler with, or you're going to do a filler with two of the first starting letters. It's just better to do it early, right? Okay, I get it now. Steel. We're going to go first. Tombs gets you musty and busty. And so now we're down to dusty, gusty. Gets a 5 or 4. All right. Adieu is the most common starting word. So we're going to do redub. We are doing a filler using the E again. We are worried about the ound trap. So this gets you bound and round. It is not the ound trap. Actually, do we know that? We don't know that yet. We're going to do dumps, which gets mound and sound. And then here it's dusky or dusty. So it's a 4 or 5. So 2 fillers just to avoid all these traps because adieu doesn't get you starting consonants. All right, audio. So I'm going to go back to this. This is why I don't like vowel heavy starts, right? In hard mode, at least. Like, do whatever you want in normal mode. You always get a filler on turn 5, right? But in hard mode, I don't really like the vowel heavy starts because of this exact situation where you have to do a filler and you don't even know it. Like, if you don't do this exact filler, you're going to lose. And the reason for that is, I mean, we got a little unlucky having to use that D, I guess, but we don't have a whole lot of vowel flexibility in order to get the consonants we need. And we didn't get any consonants from our first word. I mean, we got the D, but lucky / unlucky, depending on how you think about it. Like the D is not a very common consonant. It's kind of like mid-tier. But anyway, so for stuff like the elm trap, the usty trap, the atch trap, right? All these traps where it's really, you need to fish the first consonant. There's a bunch of them. And a D doesn't help you get there. So your second guess is now having to act like your first guess, but you don't have the vowel flexibility to get the exact consonants you need. You have to think of stuff like redub, which is going to use the E again as gray. You're going to have to do a filler second. So you're not going to get it in two. Or you're going to just constantly be in these traps. Whenever it's a trap word, you're going to constantly be in these traps and not have the capability of guaranteeing a win. So, I mean, that's the exact arguments I have against vowel heavy. Like knowing the vowels does not tell you what the consonants are, and now you have less flexibility in hard mode to be able to find those consonants. You're locked into the vowels you found, and it would be a filler if you use any of the gray vowels, and then a waste of a slot. So that's why you need consonants. Anyway, let's do audio. It's gonna have the same issue. We have to do ducts. We don't have to, but audio is in slightly less worse situation because we know it's not the ound trap. So we just have to worry about the usty trap, but we have the D, so we don't even have to worry about dusty. So in any other usty trap, we'd be worried about it. And I'm actually kind of curious if we were busty instead. We're getting gusty from this one. We're getting busty from this one and gusty. Yeah, okay. There's 130 left without that D. Anyway. We're going to go ducts, and then from there it's only dusty, of course. All right. Next up is stare. S-T-A yellow. Foist or moist, interesting. From here, we're going to do a filler. We're down to busty, dusty, gusty, lusty, musty. So if we were just to go right into usty, we would have a chance of losing because we could guess 4, run out of guesses, and it was the 5th one. So in order to avoid that, we're going to do something like blast, which it counts as guessing both busty and lusty, right? Or midst counts as musty and dusty. Or smelt counts as musty or lusty, right? That's what we're doing. We're getting at least 2 consonants out of these. And because of the ST being locked in, we're not able to get 3, right? Because we need a vowel. So blast is the top choice, but it could do midst and get lucky, right? Knowing it's dusty. If we do blast, we don't get lucky yet, but now it's safe to just go into it because there's enough left. So that's usually the optimal at that point. But yeah, so it's anywhere from 4 to 6. All right. It seems like every single day they've just been picking another trap. So it might be time to abandon a DU if it's just going to be trap after trap after trap. That was... What was that one? Was that stare? That was stare. Okay. So Trace tries to get in 2. Not going to today. It's going to do the same thing. Foist. And then stump. And then here we're going to do gluts. Again, we know it's the ST trap. We're going to get 2 at once with gluts. And then now we're down to busty dusty. So 5 or 6. And then finally, clasp is what the official bot starts with. We are going to go siren here. That's just a good high value guess there. We're starting to suspect usty, I think. We're going to go musty. Moths doesn't actually test another one. But it gets rid of musty at least. And now we know it's the usty trap, so the only thing we can do. There's 4 of them left. We have 3 guesses. We got to get 2 at once. And it's always going to be a filler. So debts gets busty and dusty. Gifts gets gusty and fusty, right? So depending on which one you pick, you're going to get it in like 5 or 6. All right. Those hard mode fillers. In ultra mode, good luck. Ultra mode is no fillers, so Let's bring this over. Let's grab our screenshot and analyze. See how people did today. The streak killing streak has continued. Wonder how bad this one is. About to find out. All right. Give me 87 skill. How many start with merit? 155 others. Stand, think, stalk. Stalk is actually pretty popular follow-up. Did anyone think of... Oh, can I remember what it was? I said, oh, tonal. Yeah. No one thought of tonal. Talon is the same letters. Just different spots. Stony, stack, thong, salty. Okay. And then I got a 99 for Dusty. It would have gone for one of the Usties. All right. And it does clasp siren moths gifts Dusty. Look at these fillers, hard mode fillers, in order to avoid the ST trap. So it's doing something good there. Some amount of look ahead. All right. 0.3 starting with Dusty. 4.2, 30.7, 65.3, 86.3, 97.1. Losing on the ST trap. There's a lot of them. All right, let's refresh and look at normal mode. I think Dusty probably isn't as bad simply because of all the Adio and Audio starters who, first of all, it wasn't the Ound Trap, so they weren't actually in danger, and they got the D for Dusty. So if it had been any other Usty, it would have been a much lower solve rate for Adio and Audio starters. All right, we're going to analyze in non-hard mode. Give me 85 skill. What are people doing? Think, stand, touch, tough, stall, stalk, stack, talon, stalk, salty. So still no tonal. It would do salty or shoal. All right. 96 skill for Dusty. It would have done a filler, like fudgy or something, which gets rid of fusty and gusty and dusty all at once because we don't have to use the ST. All right. Slate forum Dusty. Forum is a filler. Gets rid of fusty and musty and rusty. Good one. All right. Dusty 0.5 starting with it. 3.7, 30.5, 65.3, 86.5, 96.8. Losing on all the STs. All right. Well, how'd you do?